I want to get into some details about buying and leasing in a moment, but what kinds of questions should people ask themselves before deciding to buy or lease?
One of them is the question of how long you're going to have the car. If you're going to have it for quite a while, it's generally a better decision to buy instead of leasing. Leasing, though, definitely has some benefits that people might want to consider. One of them is that some people tend to prefer having the latest technology, safety features. Other people just really dread dealing with the maintenance issues that come up when a car is really old. There are some things that you might want to ask yourself: how much do I care about those things? And that may steer you towards leasing, because with the lease, you might be able to get a new car every couple years or 3 years once the lease is up. The last big thing to really think about is just how much you drive, how many miles you put on your car each year. That's because leases come with mileage limits that are established up front, and if you're going to exceed them, it can be costly in terms of the penalties you pay. So you want to make sure that you aren't signing up for a lease that allows a lot fewer miles per year than you would put on a car.
And whether you buy or lease, it can wind up being a lot of money. How has the math changed in terms of leasing versus buying over the years?
One thing that might surprise people if they're coming back to the car market after a few years of not shopping for a car is that leases are now quite a bit pricier than they were even a few years ago. That's because automakers used to subsidize them more heavily, which lowered the monthly payments. But nowadays, leasing is not quite as cheap as it used to be, so that's a shift that people might want to be aware of now.
All right, so let's go through some of the nuts and bolts of both methods. What are some basic details about leasing that people should be aware of?
One of the main things you want to pay attention to in a lease is just how long the lease is going to last. It's typically 2 or 3 years that you'd probably have the car.
Does leasing require a down payment?
Not always. Many leases do, but it's not always a requirement.
And what should people keep in mind if they want to buy the car at the end of their lease?
Something to be aware of when you're starting the lease is something called the residual value of the car, which is what the car will be worth when the lease is up. And that's going to determine what you'll be able to buy the car for once the lease is over. You do actually know up front what price roughly you'll be able to pay for the car. The overall idea is that as you drive the car, its value depreciates, and so that residual value is going to be lower than what the car was worth when you drove it off the lot.
Are there penalties if somebody wants to return their car before the lease is up?
The thing to be aware of about returning your car early is that if you do want to do that, there's a chance that the automaker and the dealer will be okay with it, but there's also a chance that they won't be, and you may just be on the hook for lease payments for the remaining months of your lease.
Now, what should people keep in mind if they're comparison shopping between different cars and loans?
The main thing to keep in mind when you are trying to compare two loans is to look at the total cost of the loan. That is, how much money you're going to pay in total over the course of the entire loan. And the reason you want to pay attention to that is because one loan may have a lower monthly payment and seem like it's something that is quote-unquote cheaper. But really, when you look at over what period of time those payments are spread out over, you might end up paying more in total. So you always want to make sure that you can afford the monthly payment. You don't want to push it up so high that it's going to be uncomfortable for you to pay. But you want to look at how much you'll pay in total over the life of the loan.
Is there any room for negotiation with the amount for the down payment?
The thing to bear in mind, whether you're leasing a car or buying a car, is there's room to negotiate just about everything. It's always worth asking because dealers and automakers may have more flexibility than they might initially indicate.
Well, it's like the art of the process is negotiating inside of a car dealership, and of course there's always the trip that the dealer goes back to talk to his manager, right?
Yes, exactly. There are all sorts of moves that you might want to be on the lookout for, but the real takeaway is just that it's always worth asking.
Yeah, I guess it would be a good idea to ask questions and maybe try to negotiate a bit, because for any household, this can be a large chunk of money.
Oh, definitely. It's not going to be quite a mortgage payment, but cars are expensive, and these days, just given how much the prices of cars have increased in the past few years, and given how much interest rates have risen, there's actually a significant number of car loans that have people paying $1,000 or more for their monthly payments. So this can take a significant chunk out of people's budgets.
That's personal finance reporter Joe Pinsker. And that's it for your money briefing. Today's show is produced by Ariana Osperu, with supervising producer Melanie Roy. I'm J.R. Whalen for the Wall Street Journal. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Thanks for listening.
Hey, God, sorry, I didn't see you there. You caught me off guard. I just really miss Sean and Jason right now. Feeling real lonely out here in this cold open on my own. Oh my God, I promised myself I would cry. Not wouldn't cry, that I would cry, and I can't do it. Gosh dang it. All right, it's an all new Smartless.
Hi, y'all.
Hi, y'all.
Hi, y'all. Good evening.
Hi,
I know
good
it's
evening.
very late.
This is a very, very unusual Smartless After Dark.
This is Smartless After Dark.
Yeah, I mean, should we take a piece of clothing off, maybe?
Oh,
That's how it goes.
I mean, isn't that what usually happens after dark in my house?
Okay.
Everyone's topless after 6.
No kidding.
Am I the only one in my pajamas other than the baseball hat?
No, I'm in my pajamas. That doesn't change anything from our daytime routine. So
No.
But JB, what's the earliest? And all jokes aside, what's the earliest you'll get in your jammies?
well, if I'm not going out at all, I never get out of them. I'll be in it all day.
All day.
Oh, and you're telling me I smell like juicy, disgusting juice?
You know what?
Wait, what's the quote?
What does it usually say?
I usually say you smell like dirty, disgusting, juicy juice. What'd you say?
Yeah, something like that.
No, you usually smell like a chin chin.
That's true. This is true. But I mean, you always make fun of me because or what was it? I was wearing the same thing like all day long. You're like, you didn't take another shower?
Yeah.
You take the same.
But you'll wear the
shoes all day.
same.
What'd you both get into today? Here we are at the end of the day. Do you feel like you used today correctly? Or
I
did you
do.
just waste a day?
I do. I thought that I'd see you. I attacked the hill this morning.
Uh-huh.
Took the kids to school, attacked the hill. Didn't call either of you while I was on my journey, and because I didn't want to get another impression of my breathless phone calls.
Right.
And then
Were you zipped into your plastic sweatsuit?
I was zipped into it.
Your rubber bag?
Oh.
God, I'd love it if you actually had one of those.
I wish. I
Those are
honestly.
I haven't seen one of those since Rocky. Wasn't Rocky jogging in one of those?
Yeah, he jogged, and then didn't some actor years later?
Yes. I was just gonna say, Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence.
Oh,
Yeah.
Remember that?
Really?
Yeah, I
Not
remember that.
really long enough.
And then I worked with Chappie this afternoon.
So what does that look like, by the way, these writing sessions? Can I guess? You're on a computer with him 'cause he's over there in England, and he just sort of shares his screen with you, and you kind of watch him write.
No. Wrong. Yeah. I just get paid.
Hey, Chap, can you
watch
tilt the camera?
Chappie typo. Chappie
Yeah,
typo.
can you tilt your camera?
2 lines up. Yeah, you forgot the apostrophe right there.
I just got back like about an hour ago from having a facial to answer your question. I treated myself.
Oh.
I haven't had one in a
What was his name?
long time.
No, this is the kind where they pop
Okay, I
iPads
don't
and
know.
stuff.
Okay.
Well,
I'm trying to fucking.
You know, my wife's very diligent about making sure that I get in there and get my facial once a year. Are you more frequent than that, Sean?
Maybe 2 a year.
When's the last time you had your toes and fingers done?
Years and years.
No. You've had a manicure or pedicure recently?
No, not for years and years and years.
Will, don't lie. Last mani-pedi.
Mani-pedi, I don't know, but I've had 2 facials in the last 6 weeks.
Are you serious?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Because you had some on-camera work, did you?
No, yeah, but you know what? I haven't had one in at least 5 years before that.
Okay.
And
This explains a lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
it feels good though. I'll tell you what.
I pass out.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I do too.
Best.
Yeah.
Do you have one of those ugly wake ups too when you're still like?
Oh my God.
I totally do every time.
This is also relatable. I also had a massage recently I did a 90-minute massage. It's not that fan. Everybody gets massages in the world. I don't get them all the time.
Yeah.
And I had she let me. I was 90 minutes and she just kept me face down the full 90, and I was asleep, so I didn't know that I hadn't done like the flip over juice. And I fully did a like this, woke up, and then my face had been in the donut, facing down for 90 minutes. I looked like I'd just been kicked in the face.
Yeah. You know our friend Justin Thoreau.
Sure.
You know when he gets a massage, for some weird reason, he likes to watch World War II documentaries.
What are you talking about?
That's not a bit. That's all he does when he gets a massage. So he'll put his face in the donut and he'll put his phone down on the floor, and he'll just watch tanks and flamethrowers and all kinds of carnage.
Where's
That's
the relaxing part?
You tell me. This is I don't know. This is a guy that flies transcontinental topless. So try to figure him out.
Does he really?
Yeah, he
when
does.
he falls asleep on a plane, he can't sleep without his shirt on. With his shirt on, he can't sleep. So we'd be sleeping on a plane or wherever he's sleeping, he's got to take his shirt off.
That's just as gross as somebody putting their bare feet on the seat behind you on a plane.
JB, you just hit the main vein of JB's disgust.
What would be worse, walking around a hotel room without socks or shoes on, or walking down the aisleway of a plane without
Yeah,
socks?
plane.
I'd say a plane.
Plane for sure.
Yeah,
Which is a tight second.
because they don't.
It's a
clean up.
cursory clean. They just go, ooh,
But
okay,
they
we're
start
good.
you out in horror by when you go through the radar thing. You take your shoes off, and you gotta put your socks there on the little foot outline thing, where all the hot socks have been from people all over the world. And your hot, sweaty feet have to go in exactly the same spot their hot, sweaty feet just left. Oh, it's a fucking
That's a great title for
I
something
love.
not socks.
You know what? This is so good to hear you working off your long-term memory of what it's like going through an airport.
And I always try to straddle those little paint out things, and like I'd step on the inside or the outside. Like, no, inside the line, sir.
Yeah, you gotta be inside. It's like a fucking murder chalk outline, okay?
Yeah.
You gotta be right
I
inside.
try to settle it, and then they get mad at you.
And then I gotta put them back in. Then I put those hot socks back in my shoes. Now the shoes are ruined.
Yeah.
Why are the shoes ruined? What are you
Because the
eating out of
hot
your shoes?
sweat.
You're transferring the germs.
Yeah, and now they're dead to me.
Yeah.
Jason, you know what you're gonna hate?
What is it?
The rest of the world.
Yeah.
The rest of the world.
This is what you get at 7 o'clock at night.
I know,
Old
it's
Frankie
true.
Bateman.
Well, you know what else
You
you
get
get
them at 7 a.m. too.
I tell you what else you get at 7 p.m.
Yeah, this is
You get yourself a heck of a guest.
There we go.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
shit, Will's taking a sip.
I
before
took a
this
sip to
intro.
make sure that I'm queued up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm all sort of. I got a nice
Fucking
moist.
Guest. This guest better be fucking great, Arnett.
This guest, you know this guest,
Fucking
and
7:20 at night.
so this guest. Okay, well, let me ask you this: how's a guest who's won a Writers Guild of America award or a
That'll work.
Grammy
Start.
award?
Great to win. This is an EGOT?
An Independent Spirit Award,
Oh, shit.
a BAFTA,
Oh,
an Academy
I
Award.
apologize for
Our
my
tonight's
tone.
guest has won all those things, okay? So maybe you want to hold your 7 p.m. anger back a little
That
bit.
was Sean.
Okay.
That was Sean's
That
voice.
was
Are they a Tony shy of an EGOT?
You know what? He is. He is a Tony shy. He's a Tony and an Emmy shy of an EGOT. He's been nominated for the Emmy. I don't know if a few times. I don't know if he's been nominated for a Tony, but I wouldn't be
Maybe he'll get a
surprised.
Webby for this guest.
He might get a Webby. This guy does it all. He's a writer, he's a director, he's a really funny performer, which I think people know because he's in a bunch of stuff that he directs. But I find him to be one of the funniest dudes that I know. He makes me laugh consistently, even though he does some really serious stuff as well. We don't worry about what he does in the shadows. We're just worried about what he did with Jojo Rabbit. It's Taika Waititi.
This is fully excused. Fully excused. Worth the wait. Oh, Taika. Well done, Will. You're
very
off the
good,
schneid.
very good.
I had the whole computer screen covered with this flap of paper that you told me to get.
Yeah.
How does it feel now that it's
this is
gone?
my first reveal of you guys too. Wow, I love the moustache. Will.
Hi.
What do you think?
It's fantastic.
Thanks, buddy.
Were you prepping for a role this whole time the strike was on?
I've been prepping.
Wait, didn't you guys just work together? Didn't that movie come out?
They worked together a couple
Well,
of
I
times.
didn't mention it, but we do have a thank you, Sean, for the promotion, because Taika and
Great segue, Sean.
Searchlight will love this. Taika's next film, Next Goal Wins, is about to be released.
I can't wait to see it.
Maybe at the time of this, it is released, and it's a great movie, and it was made even better by some of the casting.
The trailer looks incredible.
It does.
I can't wait to see it.
Taika.
It looks hysterical.
You said we just had done a movie together. I completely forgot that.
I know.
I shot this movie so long ago, and it's been
What a
so long
memorable
to-
performance, Willie.
I know. Taika doesn't even remember. By the way, he said,
It's all that shit on the editing room floor. That's just
The good stuff.
Remind yourself.
we also did our Flag Means Death right around that same time together, which is it's a series about pirates.
It is.
Right. So just looking at the scoreboard, that's 2 for Will, 0
And
for
0
Sean,
for
0
Doug.
for Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Listen, maybe when you work with Taika, he won't remember you having done it either. So
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
Shit, Jason, I actually forgot to email you back about that other thing.
When I said I couldn't do the soccer movie, give it to Will?
No, you sent me something.
I wish. What did I send you something to look
Yeah.
at? Maybe? Yes?
Don't be like that. You know you sent me something.
I don't remember things at all.
Hey,
Where are you? Are you down? Are you
I
in
just
the...
landed in LA. This is why it's late, and I appreciate you guys doing this at this hour.
Oh, we
and
appreciate you
I just
being
went
here.
through that airport experience, and I'm exactly like you, Jason. I can't stand it.
Do you still have the dirty socks on right
Yeah,
now?
I
Get 'em
do
off.
straight from the airport. I don't want to
Well,
touch.
wait. Go burn them.
But that thing, and I curl my feet outwards. You know, when you stand on the edge.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Put the pressure on the
hoping
outside.
to have less surface area touching the ground.
Will, at what point in the interview can we talk about Jojo Rabbit? Do you have a plan for this? Do you have a bunch
Well,
of
let's talk
questions?
about no. It's we never have a plan.
Let's talk about airports.
So you're talking about airports. Let's talk about Jojo Rabbit because if people haven't seen Jojo Rabbit, I urge you to fucking see it. It's unbelievable.
Oh, sorry, I thought that's where you were.
It's the film that earned Taika his Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay, and a film in which you play Hitler.
So funny.
It's
And take it easy, everybody. He's Jewish, okay?
Take it easy. Take it
also-
easy. I should put that on the poster. Don't worry, he's Jewish.
Take it easy. Should have been on the
But folks, if you haven't seen it, don't be an idiot and wait longer. Get
Well,
out
it's like,
there
what
and
was it,
help yourself.
2 years? 3 years? 2 years ago?
It's so good.
2019, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Taika, actually walk us through that a little bit. I'm curious because you adapted that from a book.
Yeah.
How did that go down? That you were like, oh man, this has to be a movie. What was that process like for you?
My mother read this book called Catching Skies, and she pitched it to me. She said, you should make this into a movie. And the way she pitched the story to me, I found so funny. And I thought, this is fantastic. And then I read the book, and it was the least funny book I'd written in a long time.
Yeah.
And there was no imaginary Hitler in it or any of that stuff, but the way that she described what was going on in this world, I thought I'll go with her pitch. Anyway, and I added just those other elements to it, like Hitler and.
So what was it? It was a kid going to like a Hitler youth
Yeah,
camp.
it was
type
about
of-
a Hitler. Yeah, the little kid who wanted to be the best Nazi in the world. Very topical right now. And he tried, and then he got home. He gets home one day and he finds that his mother's hiding a girl in their attic, a Jewish girl in their attic, and he has a big meltdown. He has no idea what to do about this thing, which he imagines as like he's been taught that they're monsters with horns and devil tails and stuff.
I mean, for people who haven't seen it, it's just so goddamn good, and the plane lands at the end of this thing in a way that is so exciting and elegant and fun, and it's just I don't know how you threaded that needle tonally all the way through the film, and then an even narrower one at the end, and just thrilled it.
Thanks.
It's true. And my question was, so you did play Hitler. Were you always going to play that part? Were you like, I got to do this, or did that?
No, I never imagined. I mean, look, I'm brown and too good looking. Some would say.
You're very handsome.
The hero, but we did put it out to a lot of actors, and I don't even think they got to see the script. I think their agents immediately said it's a hard no, it's a hard pass on this one.
This is an easy pass.
So then a few years, and I went and made a few other movies. I thought, well, no one's going to make this. Will be one of those blacklist scripts that never gets off the blacklist. And then Searchlight, who made this soccer film with us, they said to me, we really want to make this film, but only if you play Hitler. And
see, these guys, I mean, consistently through multiple administrations have been like one of the most courageous, tasteful companies in all of entertainment. Like I can't imagine a bunch of other companies that would have said yes. What was the pitch process like when you went in there about like
you know exactly what it was like.
Well, but I mean, did you have your agent sort of soften the ground a little bit and say, he's going to pitch you a Hitler film, but it's not like what you. I mean, was there any warning at all?
And we went through multiple studios and started with, okay, it's about a kid growing up in World War II who's in the Hitler Youth, and then their eyes would glaze over. You see them fidget uncomfortably in their seat, and I would sort of just trail off from there because you just know instantly that it's not for them.
Summary notices and report any concerns. More information and to report any potential fraud, waste, or abuse at 1-800-488-6070. That's 1-800-488-6070.
You're listening to the simulcast on the 12 News at 6 from Local 12 on 89.3 FM, WMKB, and 89.9 FM, WLHS. Coming to you from the Corner Mashburn Family Studio. I'm Dave Schramm. It's 34 degrees. I'm showing 34 here in Springdale. It could be 32 somewhere else, but I'm telling you, it's 34 degrees right now at 6:09. Stay tuned. We have Business Wise coming up. Business Wise is hosted by Tom Cooney and Crystal Faulkner. They're with MCM CPAs and Advisors. Tonight, the interview guest, Evan Davis. And they'll be talking about what does Brixey and Meyer Capital do. That's coming up on Business Wise. Then we follow that with Mike War's Kaleidoscope. And live radio, folks. Got to grab the list. Tonight they're covering, Mike is covering Charles Goodyear, inventor Charles Goodyear. So stay tuned for that coming up after the Local 12 News at 6. Looking at traffic right now, 275 east at the Madison Pike exit. There's an accident on the right shoulder. 75 south after the Lockland Split exit, an accident on the left shoulder. Oxford Road at Browns Run Road, an accident. Also 275 west, the on-ramp from the 75 exit. There is an accident on the ramp there.
News about holiday spending. Prices at the pump have been falling for 60 consecutive days, according to AAA. The current national average price for regular gas is down 27 cents from just a month ago to $3.25 a gallon. Analysts will be watching OPEC's next meeting that is scheduled for next week for potential crude oil cuts. According to AAA, the average price in the Cincinnati area is $3.04 a gallon. That's down from $3.15 a week ago. The local average was $3.61 a year ago. Remember that?
Yeah. According to the National Retail Federation, more than 71 million Americans are expected to shop online this Cyber Monday. And that would make it the second most popular day of the year to shop behind Black Friday. E-commerce already had a strong Black Friday with sales up 7.5% compared to last year. Shopify's president says that this year, shoppers are embracing what he calls gift yourself mentality. People taking advantage of today's deals to buy what they want first.
Many of them are using these deals to check off their personal wish list items and stock up even on everyday items. So, for example, big ticket items like cookware from Hexclad is doing well, pizza ovens from Booney is doing well, blenders from Blender Tech is doing well, and also home security company Ring, which are all Shopify stores, are also doing quite well.
Yeah, and we're told Gen X is spending more than any other demographics. And yeah, we bought a little for ourselves in the last few days.
I don't ever hear anyone talking about their buying for others on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, any of those things. But I digress. I actually am going to buy for someone tonight. So
okay.
Take that. Well, this is the season, of course, to hunt for those bargains. But Some deals on clothing could be coming at a hidden cost.
Yeah, ahead at 6, the cost of fast fashion and how one brand may be benefiting from a genocide.
NFC Cincinnati superfan family showing off their support in a unique way. Tonight at 11, the painstaking labor of love as they build their very own Lego set ahead of the Eastern Conference Finals. You don't want to miss that story.
Plus, stuck underground since Thanksgiving, how a local town is coming together to try and rescue a cat from a drainage pipe.
Support comes from Cherry Beckert, a large regional firm providing services and expertise to private and publicly held businesses, not-for-profits, small businesses, and individuals across the region. They offer traditional tax, accounting, and assurance services, as well as expertise in business exit planning, international tax, HR advisory, and technology consulting, specializing in beyond the bottom line thinking and solutions. More information about Cherry Beckert is available at cbh.com or 513-579-1717.
Listening to the simulcast of the 12 News at 6 on 89.3 FM and 89.9 FM. It's 33 degrees at 6:13. Stay tuned. We have Mystery Playhouse coming up at 7. And then at 8 o'clock, we have great music with That's 70s Hour. Good stuff tonight. 9 o'clock, we have All That Cincinnati Jazz. And 10 o'clock tonight, we have Jazz Live. Great music coming up starting at 8. Tune in then, and you'll hear some great music from the 1970s. Let's go ahead and take a look at traffic right now, see how things are going on the roads. We know it's cold. There's nothing more we can say about that. Hopefully people are behaving themselves on the roads. 275 east at the Madison Pike exit, there's an accident on the right shoulder. Also 75 south after the Lockland Split exit, there's an accident on the left shoulder there. 275 west, the on-ramp from the 75 exit, there's an accident on the entrance ramp. Cooper Road at Montgomery Road, an accident, and also on 22 eastbound at 48, an accident there as well. Stay tuned for more of the 12 News at 6 from Local 12 coming up on 89.3 FM WMKB and 89.9 FM WLHS. By the way, we have the Entertainment Junction Larry and Carol Cobiano special that's coming up tomorrow, the 28th at 8 o'clock. Tune in then. Great music. You hear a lot of train music on there and railroad information too, which is really cool. Stay tuned. More of the Local 12 News coming up next.
It's never been easier to browse the latest fashions and get them delivered right to your door. Retailers like Forever 21, H&M, and Zara have helped coin the phrase fast fashion.
Yeah, but there are concerns about whether one brand in particular may be benefiting from genocide against ethnic minorities in China. It's called Shein. Audrey Almashine looks into the cost of fast fashion.
A brand new bridesmaid dress for $16. Jeans for less than $12. A gold satin blouse for $2.50. All on Shein, a Chinese online fast fashion retailer. Founded in 2008, Shein is now worth about $66 billion according to the Wall Street Journal.
I have a Shein clothing haul for you guys.
Heavily advertised on social media and influencer hauls. Now, the company has caught the attention of another audience on Capitol Hill. In 2021, Congress passed a law called the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act. It's meant to block goods from coming into the U.S. that come from this region of China, the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, where the U.S. State Department says genocide and crimes against humanity are ongoing. This United Nations report says evidence like testimonies of victims makes it reasonable to conclude forced labor of Uyghurs and other ethnic minorities has been occurring in Xinjiang, which China has long denied. 2 lab tests conducted for Bloomberg News last year confirmed garments shipped to the U.S. by Shein were made with cotton from Xinjiang. Shein told us they could not speak to those results, but said they comply with trade laws and, quote, "We have zero tolerance for forced labor and no contract manufacturers in the Xinjiang region. We have implemented a robust system to support UFLPA compliance, which includes a code of conduct, independent audits, robust tracing technology, and third-party testing." Chapin Fei, executive director of the group shut down Shein, calls their statements window dressing.
They're making very little effort to address any of the current concerns that we and now the federal government
have been raising.
Uyghur genocide is a horror Rushian Abbas confronts each day.
My people are being used as slaves. The Chinese government is making this genocide a profitable venture for the CCP, for the Chinese government.
How would products allegedly made with fabric from Xinjiang make it into the U.S. despite the 2021 law meant to prevent this? The U.S.-China Economic and Security Review Commission and the House Select Committee on the CCP say Shein and its competitor Temu, founded just last year, exploit trade de minimis import exemptions, a trade loophole that means shipments worth less than $800 are not subject to import tax or inspection if they're for an individual. Under Shein's terms and conditions, customers authorize Shein to import the products under their name.
And federal legislation to protect America from importing goods made with slave labor put the legal responsibility to prove that you are not importing goods with slave labor, made with slave labor, on the importer record, which Shein claims it is not. It claims that the U.S. consumer is.
Republican Congressman Mike Gallagher and Democratic Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy, who lead the House Select Committee on the CCP, say the true scale of both Shein and Temu's use of the de minimis provision raise serious concerns about the continued presence of products made with forced labor contaminating American imports. The committee is still investigating, and throughout Congress, calls to close that loophole are getting louder. Shein said de minimis needs to be reformed, but there's been little to no progress in Washington. In Washington, I'm Audrey Nashar reporting for Spotlight on America.
From Local 12, the weather authority, this is Chief Meteorologist John Gumbs' hour-by-hour forecast.
Coming off our coldest day that we've seen around here since the middle of March. We've got some more cold air on the way tonight and tomorrow, thanks to this big low that's spinning up here in the upper levels of the atmosphere over eastern Canada. Counterclockwise flow is bringing our wind flow right out of Canada, pushing the cold air over us and pushing it over the Great Lakes states. And as it comes across the warmer waters of Lake Michigan there, Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, they're getting lake effect snow tonight. Winter storm warnings up for the UP of Michigan, winter weather advisories elsewhere. So things could be a lot different around here. We're just seeing the cold. You can see cloud cover moving out of the picture tonight. As we take away that blanket of clouds, it's going to get pretty cold. And with winds coming out of the west, blowing at times over 10 miles per hour by morning, look at this. Wind chills could dip into the single digits around here, and those wind chills won't get much higher than the low 20s and teens by tomorrow afternoon, despite the fact that temperatures rise to around the freezing mark. So what's the deal with this wind chill stuff? Is it something we just make up to scare you and make you think it's going to be colder than it is? Well, no. There is definitive science that goes into this. Our bodies lose heat through a process called convection, and as we lose that heat, there's a little layer of warmth that stays around our bodies, kind of a protective layer that actually keeps us from losing heat quickly. Well, when the wind blows, it kind of breaks apart that protective layer. So as the winds pick up here and that protective layer of warmth kind of breaks down, it actually makes our bodies feel a whole lot colder. And the way you can combat that is to dress in layers, to have more of those insulating layers of air. So yeah, wind chill is a real thing that we experience. And so cover up the skin tomorrow morning. Those wind chills are going to be flirting with the single digits in a lot of spots and really not coming out of the low 20s into the afternoon tomorrow. It's going to be colder tomorrow, just a high of 32. The last time we were this cold was on February 3rd when we had a high of 31. Normal high 49 degrees, so about 17 degrees below the norm tomorrow. But tomorrow is the coldest day of the next 10 that we see, because we begin a big warm up on Wednesday and even warmer as we head into Thursday. Now that warmth comes ahead of our next weather maker that is going to bring rain back into the picture late Thursday into Friday. And you can see here by Thursday evening, showers beginning to approach the tri-state. Friday looks really wet with rounds of rain coming through, not only in the morning, but also into the afternoon, and a little bit of rain even possibly hanging out into Friday evening. Then it looks like a good soaking, too, coming for the end of the week here, with anywhere from a ½ inch to maybe 3/4 of an inch of rainfall expected to push through the area. So here's your 10-day forecast. Again, tomorrow, the coldest of the next 10, just 32 your high. We're back down to around 20 tomorrow night before rebounding to 48 Wednesday, breezy and warmer, and all the way to 54 on Thursday as cloud cover begins to thicken up Thursday. Thursday night into Friday, that's Then we see the rain, periods of rain, a little cooler there Friday, but near normal with a high of around 49. The rain exits early Saturday morning, so the weekend starts dry, 52 Saturday, but it looks like some more scattered showers make a return on Sunday, even into Monday and Tuesday of next week. We see some rain chances returning, with temperatures dropping back to close to normal again as we move through next week. Remember, you can track it all on our free Weather Authority app. Download it in the App Store and on Google Play.
From Chris Reckel, the Local 12 444 Sports Report, sponsored by the law offices of Blake Maesland.
The MVP of Major League Soccer wears orange and blue as Lucho Acosta today was named MLS MVP after his dominant regular season, and the voting reflected that, much like the MLS standings, it was not close. And imagine on a day like today being DC United, because they were the ones that had Lucho before FC and they let him go. DC's loss is FC Cincinnati's gain, and today, staring at his shiny new trophy, Lucho reflected on his journey to the top of the league.
Íbamos a comer, qué leche se le podía dar.
The first thought that came to my head was thinking about my son. He was 1 year old. Where are we going to get him milk? Where are we going to get food? How